Visionomicon.
Sights from beyond.
International.
Hello, hi. Yeah, this is Babar from Dusk. It's Babar and not Barbar, as my dear friend Arif writes it. So, first of all, a little bit about the band itself. Dusk has been my main passion, my love affair with the world of extreme metal and experimentation for the past around 20 years now, and I think as far as the latest is concerned, I think most of you guys, especially our Asian listeners, some of our European listeners also know that we're working on the new album. We're a doom band, so like my very good friend Mr. Vikram from Dying Embrace says, doom bands have to take a lot of time to make albums because they're slow. But yeah, with the last release we did was almost a while back, which was a proper split album release. So we're doing a full length. Before the lockdown and quarantining, the album was going full force. We have players, we have internationally acclaimed legendary players like Santiago Dobles from Agora. Also, he's playing the leads, also co-producing and mixing the album with me. We're going for a full-blown production. Part of it was recorded, of course, in Singapore with our drummer Halim Yusuf, drummer, as most of you guys know him. And the rest of the parts, the guitars, the bass, we're doing in Pakistan. Vocals are sort of all over the place. I'm doing the growls. There's a lot of Eastern elements, a lot of Eastern classical elements that we started experimenting with in the last release as well. So you're going to see a lot of instrumentation, experimentation happening with the new album. Yeah. I've been an avid fan of Black Sabbath. I think most of the world knows that. Mr. Tony Iommi was thanked in most of our thanks list as well for most of our albums. He plays a big role in my life. Everything from the structure of the songs, from early Dusk are like straightforward homage to like Sabbath songs, not the riffs. Of course, we are a bit more extreme than what Sabbath is, even though heaviness for me really means many different things. At a very young age, I got into a lot of music from Africa. I'm heavily into African music, so a lot of my influences are also very organic. As far as the blues are concerned, I love the blues, but more than that, I love the music from the Americas. Like there's a band, Bob Dylan's backing band called The Band, fronted by Levon Helm and Robbie Robertson. They're one of the biggest influences on me. Their songwriting, a lot of their, the textures. I'm more into sort of more textural approach to things, and influences are all over the place. I'm a big fan of Depeche Mode. I'm a huge Cure fan. Definitely into a lot of 80s stuff, late 70s, early 80s stuff. A lot of the stuff that you can categorize as goth pop now plays a big role in my life. I love a lot of folk music from all over the world, especially from India and Pakistan, from the subcontinent, the folk music. So definitely not just into metal, and metal is not my only influence. As far as gear is concerned, I don't have too much of it here at my place right now, because that's not where I mainly jam. I jam with another band of mine, a side project, and I play bass. And most of people who know me also know me as initially the bass player with Dusk, and bass is my go-to instrument. This is my first bass, one of my first basses, and I just recently restored it and refurbished it. It's a Japanese Maya from the early to mid 60s. Yeah, this is really vintage stuff. So this is really like, a prized possession of mine. I've been playing for the past 15 years. I've been playing a Thunderbird. It's an Epiphone Thunderbird and not a Gibson Thunderbird. Pretty good, pretty solid, gives me that heavy tone. I'm not into clunky sort of slap pop sort of playing. I'm a very straightforward, very minimal and very non-technical, I think, bass player. I'm more into the texture of the sound. I'm more into the woodiness of the sound. So I'm really into like the deep sort of notes, and this bass is really like a gnarly sort of like a beast, you know. And of course it doesn't give me as much low end as my Thunderbird gives me, but I just thought I'd share this with you guys. Also for Dusk, I've been using these two babies. One of them is this 1967 reissue Gibson Flying V. It's beautiful. As you can see, it was white and it's become yellow now. It's not in the best of conditions. I've got some stuff happening here. And I should be taking a little bit more care of this guy. Really thick, super thick tone. And I just plugged this into the last Dusk album. All the rhythm tracks you hear are from this guy right here. So really good tone, and I think I just played this guy straight out of a Marshall, and really sort of gives me that old sort of Candlemas sort of feel. Not into too much of a superficial flashy tone. I'm really into this sort of thick you know, heavy sort of guitar tone, and I think this pretty much helped me doing that. And this is of course something that I wasn't really a big fan. There goes the plectrum. But I wasn't a big fan of Ibanez guitars, especially the RG and all the other sort of more fancy stuff. But this is more kind of, you know, my scene. I bought this from a really renowned legendary guitar player here in Pakistan, and I was lucky that he imported this for himself, and he sort of wanted to sell it off, and I was lucky. It's a neck through, as you can see, beautiful resonating sound, and deactivators right here. Sort of gives me that really dark and heavy tone that I need for. So in the new Dusk record, it's all the sound is coming from this baby right here. It's Ibanez Iceman. Yeah, as far as my last words, I don't know. I just feel the world is opening up for younger listeners, new listeners out there. Check out a lot of bands that help you sort of open your mind to different genres, different styles. Definitely keeping the heaviness and the true to the nature quality of extreme metal in check. But you know, I think here's a great time to experiment with new music. So keep it simple and keep it real.
VISIONOMICON.